from Berkeley, I was interested in film scoring in general because I loved composing because you could wear different hats. You know, I always got very bored sticking to one genre, you know, like pop, rock, or oh, it has to be country or it has to be Latin. I liked all of that, but I also liked putting everything together. And it seemed like film, I could do strings, I could do some electronic stuff, I could do ambient stuff, which I was really into at the time and stuff. So when I came to LA, I did start off in the production side of things and songwriting because it was kind of my first job and it was the first opportunity to really get into you know, get my foot through the door here. But probably 2 years in to my contract with Universal, I was asked to do the theme song for a pretty popular show at the time, and I took the chance and, you know, did this Cuban kind of really cool old school Buena Vista Social Club kind of vibe for, and they loved it. So they ended up hiring me as composer as well. Whatever I did for the theme, they wanted throughout the show. So I did 2 seasons of that, and I really liked it. But I also missed the, you know, the whole record side. I missed being with artists and all that. So I constantly went back and forth in those two worlds. So where it really kind of blended was after I was doing a lot of record things with, you know, doing remixes for Sting, working with Seal, working with Santana, working with Donna Summer, and all these different very cool eclectic artists. I ended up kind of coming up with, I guess, a signature sound of my electronic production. And that yielded an opportunity to meet a great composer called John Debney, who is a great friend and a mentor to me. And I was hired to work on Iron Man 2 and be, you know, the synth sound designer, writer, programmer. That was an incredible experience because I got to wear all the hats that I've been kind of mentioning till then. Like I got to work with some of Tom Morello's music. You know, he did the guitars on that, so I would be able to tweak his guitars and then go back in with the rock band. And then we did 80-piece orchestra at Abbey Road Studios, and then I got to take those tracks and come up with something cool and sound design off of those sessions, and then play analog synths on top of, you know, the London Orchestra, and it was just incredible. So that kind of got the bug going, and it also kind of launched me into being somebody in Hollywood to be called for that sound of, you know, blending the electronic production side and film and orchestral things. There wasn't too much going on at the time. I mean, Hans was big, you know, Hans Zimmer has always been on the forefront of that sound and all that, but there wasn't a lot of artists like there are now, you know, like Junkie XL and Trent Reznor. They weren't doing soundtracks. So it wasn't like you would call a famous DJ or a famous artist back then to do a specific sound. It was more like you got a composer that also had background in music production and knew all the sound design things and, you know, knew about analog filters and all that. And either I would collaborate with another composer or I would be the composer. Or at the same time, it helped that I was a songwriter. So a lot of times they want you to do the main theme or the pop song at the end or something. So it's always really interesting because you can come in for one thing, and then as you develop the sound, the director and producers are like, "Hey, well that's really cool. What if we just add like a famous artist on that?" You know, and that becomes the montage song or the end song or something. And it's really fun to do that because, like I said, it's one more hat. You know, you come in as a sound designer engineer, then you end up writing the song, and then you end up producing the song with the artist. So, you know, it's phenomenal. To this day, that's kind of my goal. Like I like to do as much as I can in different areas within one project.